Let me be clear here. And I bought Silksong, and I just want to say the game is incredibly difficult, but everything about it is so cool. Like, genuinely, I just want to rant about it in this video. I want to give my take on it. I don't think the hate that it's getting is deserved. I think, yes, it is very challenging. That's the most negative factor about it. But the game allows you to progress and to remember how to defeat these bosses and whatnot. It's only as difficult as you make it. You're going to fail in this game multiple times, but you're also going to improve if you keep playing it. I understand if you're like one of those type of people who only hop on for an hour or two to play a video game. You might like this game or you might not because there's no difficulty setting. And I was getting my ass handed to me by these basic enemies, but I still love this game. It is a nice game. I'm not even a fan of 2D platformer games either. I hate 2D and third-person games. I'm a first-person only type of player, but you know, I turned a blind eye to it because the art style, it's mostly all hand-drawn. You can tell they put a lot of work into this game. Also, the reason why it took like literally 10,000 years to come out. Every different area in this game has its own unique level design and whatnot. You know, every enemy is mostly unique in its design, but they kind of all choose from a pool of how they attack you: pushing, shoving, stabbing, ramming, and flying. And my personal favorite, making Hornet vibrate. Anyways, each enemy, you know, they fit their respective area along with their attacks. For example, the bone bugs, they use their acquired exoskeletons from the fallen bug soldiers in that area to damage you using the sharp edges. That stupid frickin' rhino looking bug that I hate. I hate this thing. I despise it. Also, for another example, the snail shoots moss at you while cowering away, similar to how a real snail would act, cowardless in the moss grotto. You know how snails hide in their shells and whatnot, and they shoot the very moss that infected them and their brethren at you to try and make you an insane fanatic as themselves. Each area has its own like hidden lore and its own surface lore. For example, the bone area with all the dead bugs and whatnot, I'm assuming there was this giant battle that took place and whatnot, and the remnants are just like either these fallen soldiers, or the ghosts of like the fallen bug soldiers, or just these hoodlums, we'll go with, that have like stolen the exoskeletons and they try and like attack you with it, and they have like their own little area set up. They even have like this bug arena that I fell into, and it kept spawning that stupid rhino beetle that I hate, and I kept dying to it over and over and over again, so I had to like take 7 minutes to walk all the way back. It was very frustrating, but I stuck with it. I played this game for about 3-ish hours and I enjoyed it. The game is very long. I do not think I'm going to finish it because it's just die, checkpoint, progress a little bit more. It's like a roguelike, but not a roguelike. And there's no problem with that. That's just my personal take on it. Everything else about the game, though, is wonderful. The music changes per like area that you go to. Like every music piece, for the most part, fits its respective area, and like the bugs and whatnot match their area. Every level, or every area, as I was saying, is like expertly designed. Everything fits in that area. The bone area has these cool like chimes that play, and this like piano as well, the somber piano, so it matches like the fallen and like getting reanimated and whatnot. The moss area has like this, I'd say, Zelda-esque vibe to it as you're just going around, because it's the beginner area. Nothing should be challenging, and I actually stumbled against the moss mother. It was a very easy boss fight, because I'm assuming she's the first boss you fight. I wasn't prepared, though. I beat her, though, very barely. I was like, oh my god, you know, an enemy that moves around. Also, you know, most of the peasants and friendlies in this game, they rely on you in one way or another. Like all the little friendly bugs that are in these encampments. For example, the peasants in the Bone Village, look at you and express hope as you go through the camp, as the piano is playing and whatnot. The fleas, as well, in the same bone area further along, they offer you hospitality and shelter, and usually, as you progress further in the game, the enemy fleas, they're quite the opposite. You know, they will lunge at the player and try to take you down. Also, this is my personal take, but the Silk Moth, aka what Hornet is a part of the original ruler of the Shell City area. I forget what it's called. You know, this great bug battle was fought, and that's where you can see like all the bones, the exoskeletons. I was talking about this bone palace area in the bone pits. You know, I believe there's a metaphor in there somewhere, and also how Hornet can choose to realize the bottled up silk, or how you can choose to release the bottled up silk moths that the other bugs use for light. Also, the rosaries in this game, it's their version of a currency. You know, you can use them to buy various amounts of items. Most shops are unique and do different things, as previously said. Like the bone area has bone-themed stuff, the moss area has moth-themed stuff, and they all help in different ways, such as, you know, charms, map upgrades, money loss prevention, aka bug insurance. Kind of cool. I think this game has over 90 unique bosses as well. I fought the moth mother, or no, the moss mother in the bone arena, if you count that. I think that's the only boss in the bone stage. I'm not too sure. You know, I personally like this game, and I would say it's fun, but very tedious. I'm also not a fan of 2D platformers, but with this art style and the uniqueness of the game, I can turn a blind eye to it. I would highly recommend it as well if you have Xbox Game Pass. It's on there, or Ultimate, I should say, or if you have just 20 bucks lying around. I'd recommend getting this game. I'd, you know, watch a video on it first or something, and see, yeah, okay, maybe I do like that game, or maybe I don't. You know, worst comes to worst, you waste 20 bucks, but you have a game which I would say has at least 30, maybe 40 hours of playtime on it. And that's not including how many times you're going to die to the same enemy over and over and over again till you personally improve and defeat that enemy. And that being said, that was my review of Silksong. I think it was a good game. It lived up to its expectations. It lived up to the hype. I do not think it was overhyped. I don't think all the negative reviews are true. I think it's just people being salty, and also game developers realizing that you can sell a game for 20 bucks and it can be well worth its price. And 20 bucks, it's fair. That's about the price of a modern American meal now.